Hi, my name is Risa Carlson. I'm on the board of the Baltimore Classical Guitar Society, and I am here with the incomparable Paul Odette, the wonderful lute player from Eastman University. Thank you so much for meeting with me today, Paul.
My pleasure.
So, Paul, you've been in the middle of a lot of performing all around the world and teaching, and I know it's been a little tricky to find a time for us to meet. But yes, can you tell us a little bit about sort of what you do as a lutenist?
Well, I kind of wear three hats. I I'm the director of the early music department of the Eastman School of Music here in Rochester, New York. And that means coordinating all of the early music studies. We have early music majors in lute and harpsichord and Baroque violin, Baroque cello, voice, etc. So I direct the early music ensemble. I teach a Baroque performance practice class, and I teach the lute students. So that's kind of hat number one. Hat number two is I'm the artistic co-director of the Boston Early Music Festival, which is the largest early music festival in North America. And we have a major festival every 2 years and an ongoing concert series throughout the season every year. So I'm responsible for choosing artists, choosing repertoire, and performing in a lot of the concerts there. And then hat number three is I play a lot of concerts. I just got back from Germany a couple of days ago, playing concerts and giving a lecture at a Dowland conference, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, it's a varied diet.
Which is wonderful. And we're here today to talk about the Baltimore International Guitar Competition, and you are going to be one of the jurors in the final round of the competition. The competition is happening September 20th to the 25th, and the final round is the 23rd, 24th, and 25th in September of this year. We're very excited that it's happening finally after a couple of postponements due to due to the
Right.
pandemic. So I wanted to ask you, what is it in your view that makes this competition unusual or sets it apart?
I think there are a number of aspects that are very special and that I'm very excited about. I think the idea of having required repertoire as well as free choice is extremely helpful from the jurors because I've been on juries before where nobody played remotely related music, and you're really comparing apples and oranges. Um, and it's nice to have some music in common where you can have direct comparison, and then to explore each player's personality through their own choice of pieces in the free choice section. So I think that's a really special aspect of this. I also think that in the makeup of the jury, Manuel told me he did not want a bunch of guitar nerds on the jury who would just be concerned with if they use the right finger on a note or the finger that we would use to play a certain note, but that it really had to be about music. And therefore, there are many non-guitarists, I guess myself included, since I don't play the classical guitar professionally at this point, which I think gives a broader perspective. I think it's a shame competitions that only have pianists in the jury because they're looking for very different things from what the audience is looking for. And I think the other aspect that is very well thought out is the idea of having blind rounds so that we don't have an association with, oh, I know that person studied with a friend of mine, therefore you're going to give them a better grade. It kind of takes the politics out of it because you have no idea who you're listening to. You're just listening to the performance. But because the visual appearance, the body language, the facial expressions, the movement, all of that is an important part of performing in public. We will get to see the players in the last round of the last round, which I think is really important because I've heard very persuasive performances by people who, when you see them in person, they look very awkward, very off-putting, and you think, "Ooh, that's not so good in a concert." Or conversely, somebody who looks incredibly elegant and doesn't play so well.
Doesn't deliver.
It's interesting the visual influence on one's perception of a performance.
Yeah, yeah. So the audience will get to see who the judges are sort of voting for, in the semifinals, and then in the finals we'll get to see them the whole time. But then you get to see them only the final day, correct? So that
Oh, I see. The audience will see them,
we'll
right?
see them, but the judges will be behind a screen the whole time, except for the last day.
Will be sequestered in a remote lodge someplace, right?
Yes, it will be really fun to see this competition. I'm so looking forward to it. Well, Paul, thank you so much for speaking with me today. I really appreciate your time.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.